Ah, crap. How did I oversleep? Perhaps it was all the hard work I put into these videos for you guys. I'm gonna be late. Somebody said they're late. Driving is typically not fun, especially with my dad. Now, not to say that I was never grateful for him taking the time of his life to give me a ride to all the places that I needed to go, but sometimes he can take driving a little bit unserious. My dad's rules of the road. Number 1, get to point A and point B as fast as possible, despite the potential consequences. Number 2, if someone is in your way, almost instantly get around them as fast as you can. You don't need to check to see if you're safe. If someone's in the way, get around them. And finally, number 3, only dad rules the road.
Hey you! Get off of my private property!
And oh boy, I have lots of memories about my dad's driving, especially getting us into some very, interesting scenarios. So, let's buckle up, engagers. When 2020 hits, instead of using the stinky old bus to get to school, my dad was completely happy to drive me to school to lessen the chances of me getting sick. Though there was this one time when a bus was in our usual drop-off zone, which, well, the parking lot was just a bit up ahead, so no biggie. Then right as we were about to pass, the bus began to move. I told Dad that, but he had the bright idea of thinking that he'd get by since, well, the bus driver would just see him coming, right? The thing was, however, the bus wasn't stopping. I yelled at my dad to stop, no budge, and then we got in an accident with a special ed bus. The rear view mirror on my side had been completely chipped off. And of course, everyone in the whole school saw it. My dad forced me out of the car and saying that he would be the one to deal with the whole situation, and as I walked inside, I had the pleasure of 1,000 beating eyes staring at me, knowing that this was going to be the talk of the town for the entire week. Thankfully, nobody was hurt, and we didn't get in any trouble for this. But man! If my dad just used his brain like a normal human being and stopped when he saw a giant heavy moving vehicle move in our direction, none of this would have happened. Well, at least I had a funny story out of this. Another fun incident occurred just a couple years earlier, after we finished every middle schooler's favorite summer activity, back to school clothes shopping. Yeah, my dad hated it too. We were just about to leave, and as we were trying to get in the turn lane, some teenage girl was just sitting there for some reason. And my dad was just not gonna have it. My impatient mentor then proceeded to go on a honking spree for like an entire minute, all while not saying a single word. After what felt like an eternity of embarrassments, they finally get out to the street. And then we find out that the reason they didn't turn was because some of the road being blocked off. Oops. But you know, over-the-top mistakes like this happen sometimes. The teenage girl had other plans, though. Every time that my dad would try to get around them, they would instantly speed up and swerve right in front of us. It looks like we played with the hornet's nest. Unfortunately for them, my dad was the exterminator. Alright, mini tangent incoming. Okay, so I know my dad was kinda being an idiot and was spamming the horn as if he was about to win the lottery, but like... Okay, girly. I don't necessarily think it's that good of a call to try and get us all into an accident for something as stupid as this. Eventually, we finally get around them, but not without a fight, of course. As my dad broke the sound barrier trying to get around them, the teenage girl had to give us a parting gift, and gave us the bird. That was an experience. I sure do hope that my pops learns from this and doesn't partake in road rage again. Especially risking his family's safety. Why isn't the video over yet? So, it was freshman year of high school. Unfortunately, Mom had to be hospitalized at this time.
Don't worry, she's okay now.
And after a somewhat stressful day of school, me and the rest of the family decided to visit Mom to make her feel better. Though, of course, our dad had to get there as fast as humanly possible. My dad, at a red light, decides to turn right without even looking at his surroundings, and then... Dad wasn't even fazed about what happened and just kept moving along. Unfortunately, and rightfully, the people who swerved out of the way were fazed by the situation. It was an older husband and wife duo, and the woman then proceeded to get out of her car, ran all the way to my side specifically, and pounded on the window to open this door right now. And I brightly replied with, I'm 14. My dad then proceeded to say some very not so nice things to the lady, and as soon as he said those not so nice things, her husband appeared right in thin air. Great timing. Mind you, while all of this was happening, my little siblings were just looking in horror. Then the light turned green, and without hesitation, my dad just booked it. It took a little while, but we all noticed that the couple was following us all the way to the hospital. As soon as they were there, for the next 10 or so minutes, they were arguing. Surprisingly, no cops were involved. And I think the couple sort of realized our situation and sort of gave us pity. And then they just drove off. And then we were able to visit Mom. Not without Dad giving us a stern discussion to not tell Mom what happened. It's weird to think that day that we could have all collectively as a family been inside that same hospital, all because of my dad's impatience. Yeah, there's no real lesson today. I just thought it'd be funny to talk about my dad's driving. Thankfully, my dad realized about this road rage habit and is currently learning to take it more easy on the road. Despite that, I could still probably dedicate this whole channel to the weird shit that my dad has done on the road. At the same time, I am still thankful for how fast he can get me from point A to B. Seriously, compared to my mom, even if she's a lot more safe and cautious on the road. But yeah, buckle up kiddos and drive safely.